Yeah. Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhamad Naqhaie bin Razman. My ID is ICN 22111010. Today, me and my groupmate Muhammad Fakhrul Izzat bin Azizul are going to present our proposal in KPM KP. So I pass it to Fakhrul.
So first, this is our network diagram. We have three buildings here. So the first building, academic building A, is for DCD students. It has two floors. First floor, each contains three labs. One lab contains 50 PC for students to use, and also it has a switch to connect to the router on the server room. The other block is for B and C, is for other course student. It's also same like DCD building A for DCD students. All switch will connect to the router on the server room at the administration building. Next.
Nextly is client computer hardware for DCD students in KPM KP. For the processor, we use Intel i7. The specification for these processors, it has a higher number of cores compared to lower end processors. The processors also have a larger cache. Next, for graphic card, we use 4GB NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1660. The specification for memory bandwidth, it is typically around 192 gigs, and the memory speed is 8 gigs. So the reason why we choose Intel i7 for processor, because it has larger cache that can help store frequently access data closer to the processors that can reduce latency and improving overall performance, which it is suitable for students to making editing that can reduce latency for their rendering for performance. And next, it has commonly offer quad-core, hexa-core, or octa-core configuration. Next, the reason why we choose graphic card NVIDIA GeForce, because it doesn't get too hot, which is it doesn't get too hot, that can lead to avoid any problem while editing or rendering. Next, because it is cheap than other graphic card, and it is suitable for students to editing. Next, we use G-Skill JAWS V series 32GB DDR4. The specification, the memory capacity is 32GB, and the memory speed 3060 MHz, and memory type DDR4. And for storage, we use SSD Crucial MS500. It supports AES 256-bit hardware-based encryption for data security, and operating temperature rated to operate between 0 Celsius and 70 Celsius. The reason why we choose G-Skill JAWS V series, because the company for this G-Skill JAWS, it offers limited lifetime warranty, which can, if lead to any kerosakan, we can claim the warranty, so it can reduce for overspend lah. And the next is 32 gives a lost motor performance. And the reason why we choose storage SSD Crucial MS500, because it is suitable for use as a primary storage device in desktops, laptops, and other compatible devices. And it also offers faster boot time, reduce application load time, and improve overall system. And okay, UHD monitor, the resolution is 3840 2160 pixels 4K UHD, and display is 27 inches, and it support HDR, HDR10. So the reason why we choose this monitor, because it support HDR that can enhances the color accuracy, because for DCD students that made a lot of editing, they need the accuracy of the color for their assignment. So it is important for them to have a accuracy of the color, and it is also stable for video editing and editing because the 4K resolution of the monitor. Next, I pass to Fakhrul.
So this is our client computer hardware for other course students. First, our RAM is a 8 gig Kingston value RAM DDR4 to 1066 megahertz CL90. Next is our storage. We use SSD Crucial MS500. It supports ES 256-bit hardware-based encryption for data security. It's operating temperature rate to operate between 0 Celsius to 17 Celsius. The reason why we choose this RAM is because its speeds allow for fast data transfer rates, contributing to improved system performance. Next, for the monitor, we use HP M24F FHD monitor 1080 pixels. Its resolution is 1920 times 1080 pixels, Full HD. Its display size is 24 inches. The processor we use is Intel i7. It has turbo boost feature and support hyper threading. The reason why we choose this monitor is because this monitor comes with both HDMI and VGA connectivity options. This is also filterable for students at KPM that doesn't use any high application for their daily tasks. Next is our file server hardware specifications. Processor at least 1.4 GHz 64-bit processor, 32 gig storage, and it supports its network adapter supports gigabit internet.
So next, for Windows operating system, for client computer, we choose Windows 11. This is because so for the justification of this Windows, new look of Windows, it is suitable for students. The interface look cleaner and make it easy to load out multiple functions at once. So it is suitable for students to multitask, which is like they want to open application, a lot of application once. And it also enhances the security and provides highest levels of security features, which is Microsoft has provided user with the highest levels of security features to protect data from malware and threats. Next is better performance and smoother operation. The Windows 11 designed for better performance and smoother operation. Windows 11 use new file system designed to be more efficient and reduce amount of disk fragmentation. Besides, computer can run smoothly because Windows 11 have improvement to memory management that can make better use of available RAM. Next.
Next is Windows Server used for server. Storage enhancement, one of the significant advancements in Windows 2022 server is the innovation at the storage level. We offer 3 significant security improvements, including firmware protection, virtual environment security as a cloud, and hardware trust. It also has networking improvements. Next.
List of user software that we choose for DCD students in KPM Kapit. We have Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, the requirement 4 GB of available hard disk space for installation. And for the RAM, 60 GB or more, and the processor Intel or AMD processor with 64-bit support, 3.1 GHz or faster processor. And next, Adobe Premiere operating system at least Windows 10. And for the RAM, 8 GB of RAM at least, and hard disk space, 8 GB of available hard disk space for installation, and graphic processor Intel 7th generation. And next, we also have Microsoft 365, which is have application like Word, PowerPoint, and Teams. The requirement is 4 GB RAM or more, 4 GB of available disk space, 1.6 GHz or faster to core processors. And for the resolution, screen resolution, it is require 32 bits hardware resolution for 4K and higher for display. Next, we have Adobe Illustration, the processor, multi-core Intel processor with 64-bit support. For RAM, 8 GB of RAM, but 60 GB is highly recommended. And for hard disk, 2 GB of available hard disk space for installation, and monitor resolution 124 times 768 display. And lastly, Google Chrome, the requirement Windows 7 or Windows 8 and Windows 8.1 or Windows 10. For the processor, at least Intel Pentium 4 processor, at least. And for RAM, 2 GB of RAM, but 4 GB RAM recommended for optimal performance. And for hard disk, minimum 200 megabyte of free hard disk space. Next.
So this list of user software for other course students in KPM KP. We have Microsoft 365, such as Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. It requires 4 GB RAM or more. Disk space are 4 GB of available. 2 core processor, 1.6 GHz or faster for better performance. 1280 times 268 screen resolution. 32-bit requires hardware acceleration for 4K and higher for display. Next is Cisco Packet Tracer for DCN students. Windows minimum is Windows 7, Windows 8.1 or Windows 10, 32-bit or 64-bit. Minimum processor for this software is Intel Pentium 4, 2.53 GHz, but Intel i5 is recommended for better performance. 2 GB RAM for minimum 2 GB RAM at least, and recommended 2 GB of available disk space or more. Next is VirtualBox for DCN students. Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, and also Windows 10. 2 GB RAM minimum recommended, but if you want a better performance, 4 GB RAM is recommended. Minimum 200 megabytes of available disk space. Sufficient storage space to create and store virtual machines and their associated files. Next is Visual Studio. RAM minimum is 4 GB RAM. A minimum of 4 GB of free disk space for hard disk space, and minimum display resolution of 720 pixels is required.
So this is
Next.
list of system software, ultimate security installed on client's computer. We have total AV, memory, the requirement memory at least 2 GB of RAM or higher. Disk space minimum 1.5 GB of free disk space. Additional space for temporary and quarantine files needed. And for the CPU, at least Intel Pentium 4 or AMD Athlon 64 processors or faster. And nextly is Microsoft Defender. The minimum of RAM is 8 GB, and the solid state disk, 5 GB free space recommended. Flash memory 32 GB and hard drive at least 32 GB and CPU 1 to 1.8 gigahertz. Next.
So this is DSP functions. DCP is a network protocol that automates IP network device configuration, enabling device to use network service like DNS, NTP, and any UDP or TCP-based communication protocols. These are the three things that DSCP do. First is operation tasks are reduced, so the network admin no longer need to configure IP address manually on each device. Next is second, IP addressing plan is optimized. Addresses that are no longer being used are freed up and made available to new clients connecting. The third is user mobility is easily managed. The administrator doesn't need to manually reconfigure IP address whenever access point is changed. So for the KPM Kapit, for example, if one device in KPM Kapit cannot be used or broken, it will automatically change its IP address so that the other device can use it also. Next.
Lastly is DNS function. The main purpose of DNS is to resolve domain names to IP addresses. When you enter a domain name in your web browser, DNS servers are responsible for finding the corresponding IP address associated with that domain name. DNS allows multiple domain names to be associated with the same IP address. This feature is commonly used for creating aliases, such as having www.example.com and example.com both point to the same web server. So that's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.